It's fascinating to me that some of y'all aren't seeing that the rhetoric that Elon and Vivek are using to justify H-1B visas for immigrant workers in tech, that's the same argument they made for exploiting Mexican farm workers. Like, to be clear, the jobs that they brought a lot of immigrants over to do, like, to be clear, these are not black jobs, but these were some of the only jobs that black people were allowed to do in white spaces. Don't be messy and miss my larger point. Keep watching. The housekeeping jobs, the blue collar work, the farm labor, that's stuff that black people used to do. And what did they say? They said, oh, black people don't want to work anymore. No, that's not true. Black people just wanted to be paid a living wage. So they said, you know what? We're not going to do that because we don't think you deserve that. So we are going to take advantage of people who are coming here to experience the American dream, and we are going to take advantage of them and pay them less than what they're worth, just so that we can avoid paying black people a living wage. So now they're doing the same thing to white Americans. So your ancestors believed the hype. Your ancestors were so tapped into the desire to feel better than others, the unconscious or maybe conscious bias against black people was so easy to believe. It was so easy to believe that somehow, even though my people were enslaved for hundreds of years, somehow we're also lazy. If we were lazy, why would they keep enslaving us? That doesn't make any sense. And now y'all are feeling it too. Racism and colorism is global. So, of course, it was easy for people to lean into the stereotype that they were fed about Black Americans. And I'm talking about non-American Black people too. They bought into that stereotype. So now the same thing is happening, but in white collar jobs. So I say to white people that are upset about this, talk to your granddaddy about it. Talk to your parents about it. Because they got played. And the wealthy people in power saw, oh, this is something we can keep doing. And to immigrant workers that come over here, y'all don't realize that they are not paying you what you're worth. They're bringing you over because they know they can get a discount for your labor, which is so unfair. They're playing everybody. The rich people at the top are playing everybody because they just don't want to pay workers a living wage. So what do? Again, I've talked about this in my videos before. They pit us against each other and get us distracted by racism, by ethnocentrism, by fighting between immigrants and American born. It's all a distraction. They just don't want to pay their workers. That's it. Like, immigrant workers are not the enemy. They're not. It's always been the people at the top. So I'm gonna need all y'all who are very upset, all y'all palm-colored friends. Some of y'all need to apologize. Some of y'all need to go over your biases that you have held against black people unfairly because you believe the lie that we were lazy instead of looking into the fact that no, they just didn't want to pay my ancestors. They thought, well, we had free labor for all those years, so we don't want to give you anything that might get you up to our level. It's offensive to everyone involved. Foreign workers should be paid fairly for their labor and for their intelligence. And so should American-born workers. But this lie that you have to go overseas to get the people to do the work, that's a lie. That's a lie. A lot of y'all are mad because you've always had the privilege of the assumption that you're doing great work. Y'all were able to rest in that privilege of the assumption that your work is always great and that you know what you're doing, which a lot of you do. But also think about my ancestors. We are not a lazy people. We are not a lazy people, but they gaslight us to believe that we are. So what do? We work 10 times harder. What do the oppressors do that are not at the top of the level financially, but happen to be part of the ruling class by appearance? Y'all believed it. Y'all believed it. And here's the thing, some of y'all are absolutely mediocre. Absolutely, because I've worked with some of y'all. But for the most part, we're just hardworking people that want to be able to pay our bills and feed our families. And instead of doing that, they gaslight us. So I want all of y'all who voted for that man to think really hard about what you did, because you did it to yourselves. You did. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't. I say, well, of course you ended up here. And it's your fault. You did this to us. And I want you to sit and think about the consequences of your actions. We tried to tell you. We tried to tell you.